Hi, this is Dan May at Ramsack, and welcome to this, the latest in my series of blogs about how to get the most out of your Office 365 subscription. Today, I want to introduce you to Microsoft's FindTime. I think it's one of the less known tools in the 365 suite, but one that for me saves me minutes, sometimes hours each week, and is a brilliant tool for anybody that wants to organize meetings with a group of people, particularly meetings outside of your own organization. So it's not there by default. You actually have to download FindTime the first time that you come to use it. So if you just go to Google and Google FindTime, it always comes up as one of the first choices. Alternatively, I've got the web page open on your screen now. It's findtime.microsoft.com. The first time you go there, it'll ask you just to sign in. Sign in using your normal Microsoft Office 365 username and password, and follow the on-screen instructions just to download the tool. I'm not going to run through those now because it's fairly self-explanatory when you go in, and I've already got it installed on my machine. When you have downloaded FindTime, you'll notice that it installs itself into your Outlook taskbar. So the window I've got open here is in a new email message, and you'll notice that at the top here I've just got this new meeting poll with the FindTime logo. If I just quickly look at my own inbox, you'll see where I've got an email selected, I can reply with a FindTime meeting poll as well. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to stick to a brand new meeting. So to start with, to create the meeting poll, you actually start this as an email. So this isn't a calendar invitation, this is an email. And in your to fields, you're just going to type in the names of all the people that you want to invite to this particular meeting. So I'm just going to invite Louise and Simon, who I work with here at Ramsack. They're part of my marketing team. So in this instance, I'm just going to show this with some internal contacts. But as I say, where this really becomes powerful is when you're working with people outside your organization where you don't already have shared calendar views. Give your email a subject line. Just a little watchword here. The subject line of your email is what's going to become the subject of your calendar invitation. So do edit the subject line just to make it meaningful when this appears in your calendar. So I'm just going to say here, meeting to discuss marketing plans for 2019, and I'll just start typing my email in the normal way. So, dear Lou and Simon, can we meet up to discuss? When I've written my email, I'm just going to click on this new meeting poll button as it appears up here. I'll just take a moment to open, and what I get on the right hand side of my email now is this FindTime sidebar. I select the duration of the meeting, so I want to look for a time that we can all make that is for an hour-long meeting. And I can decide with this tick box whether I want to do something within work hours, and I can set the time zone for the meeting as well. Now, this gives me a week's view of my calendar. It's just showing me 5 days because I've selected work hours, and I can already see that actually I don't have a free hour in these 3 days here, so I can just browse on into the following week. Next week's looking a little bit better for me, so let's look at Monday the 17th, and I can see that I've got an hour free at 1 o'clock, so I'll select that as an option. Now what it shows me in this window here is 3 icons, because there's myself, Louise and Simon that I've invited to this meeting. Because Lou and Simon are inside my organisation and I have shared Outlook calendars with them, I can actually see that we're all free at this time, and it's only offered me times where we're all free. And it shows me that if I hover over, I can see that this icon in green refers to me, the next one here is referring to Louise, and the next one is referring to Simon, and it shows that we're all free. If you're sending this invitation to somebody outside your organisation, obviously you're not going to get that level of detail. It'll just be a grey icon, and you just select all the options that you're free, and then they're going to vote shortly anyway. So I've selected Monday. Let's look at Tuesday. I'm going to offer them 5 o'clock on Tuesday, 9:30 on Wednesday, and I'm going to offer them 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock the following day as well. So I can go through, I can have an unlimited amount of people in this meeting, so as many people as I put in the to column, and I can offer as many choices as I like. I've selected 6 times for now, so when I'm happy that I've selected all the options that I want to offer out, I'm just going to click on next. And then if I just go back to the top of this FindTime poll, I've got some meeting settings. So the first thing I want to do is set the location of the meeting. By default, because I'm a Skype for Business user, it's offered me an online meeting. If I don't want this to be an online meeting, if I just look at the Skype logo here and just click on it, so it changes it from blue to grey, and then it takes that automatic Skype offering out, and I can put in a location. So I can type in here, Ramsack HQ at GU71XW, whatever you want it to be, and that's the field that's going to go into the location field of your calendar invite. And then if I click on the meeting settings, this is the bit that I think makes this tool really powerful. 3 simple options: notifications, holds, and auto schedule. And you'll see if I hover over them, it does tell me what they mean, but just to briefly explain. Notifications by default is on. If I click it, it just changes to off. I'll leave it on. Notifications just means that as each person in this meeting poll votes, selects their options, I'll get an email telling me that they voted and showing me what they've selected. So that might mean that I cut the meeting poll short if most people have voted rather than waiting till the last person has. Auto schedule is, for me, the thing that makes this tool really, really powerful. So if I leave auto schedule on, what that means is when the last person in this meeting poll has voted, the FindTime tool will look at everybody's votes, and it will select the meeting time that most people could do. And it will look at people's preferences as well, and I'll talk about preferences in just a minute. So it will choose the best time for this meeting to happen. It will close the meeting poll. It will automatically put this into my Outlook calendar with the subject line of my email, with the location that I've set in FindTime, and it will invite everybody that was in the distribution list. So if you think about the way you might have done this before, you might have used a third-party tool like Doodle. You may well have just sent an email with a list of options. You've got to wait for every person to reply. You've then got to sift through those replies, work out which was the most convenient. You've then got to go into Outlook calendar, create the appointment, add all of those people into the distribution list again. With FindTime, that's all just done for you. So there's no further admin. All you do is you send out your options and FindTime takes care of the rest. So auto schedule, leave that on, I suggest. It makes it really, really powerful. It will do the rest of the work for you. Holds by default is off. If I turn it on, what holds does is it marks provisional placeholders in my diary. So if I was trying to send a meeting poll to somebody that is notoriously difficult to get time in their diary with, I might put holds on. And what that means doesn't do anything to the recipient, but it means if I've offered them 6 choices, it will mark all of those 6 choices in my Outlook calendar as being provisional appointments, so that I know not to offer those times to anybody else. And then when the meeting is finalised and scheduled, it will remove those provisional holds and it will just leave the actual scheduled meeting in my Outlook calendar. So I normally leave that off, but if it's somebody that I'm desperate to meet with and they're notoriously hard to get time with, then it's worth turning that on. So when I put the settings in that I want, all I need to do is click Insert to Email. Just take a moment to create the invite, and if I just come back over here to the new message view, you'll see that within my email it's just inserted this little poll window, and all the recipient has to do is select options. Now the recipient does not have to have FindTime installed. Indeed, they don't even have to be an Office 365 customer, and it doesn't matter if they're using non-Microsoft products. So if they're using a Mac with iCal, for example, that's absolutely fine. Because when they select options, it'll just take them to a website. They'll see the 6 meeting times that I've offered. They can choose which ones they want to say yes to and no to. They can put all of the ones that they're available, and they'll have a little heart indicator, which means they can choose a preference. So if they're available on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but Tuesday would be the easiest one for them, they can select their preference, and then the auto schedule tool will take those preferences into account when working out when to schedule the final meeting for. So all in all, this saves me so much time in administration, in organising meetings with clients that I don't have shared calendar views for. And I think if you have an administrative role or a personal assistant role and you're organising large meetings with lots of people, I think it's no exaggeration to say that this could save you probably upwards of half an hour for every meeting that you have to organise. So really powerful. Once again, to download this, just go to just Google FindTime or go to findtime.microsoft.com, log in using your Microsoft 365 credentials and follow the on-screen instructions. I hope that was useful to you. Be sure to check the rest of our blog posts. There's lots of handy hints on how to get the most out of Office 365, as well as general IT tips at www.ramsack.com, or you can get in touch by calling us on 01483 412 040. Many thanks for your time today.